Okay, all right. Welcome, guys. It is March. Congratulations, you made it to March. I would like you guys to all chime in on the chat what you learned, what your wins were, what your learns were back in February. It was a short month, but we made the most of it. So congratulations, you guys. We had an amazing month, and we had our leaders retreat at the end of February, which was fantastic. So if you were on that leaders retreat, please chime in the chat your top takeaways, what you loved. Hopefully, all of you guys that were not there or were not able to come got to live through us with all the pictures and things that we were sharing. You're going to have a chance to attend an amazing Plexus event in June. So I wanted to remind you guys to go get registered for a convention. And there's actually a contest. And so if you didn't come to the Leaders Retreat contest that went for the last 4 months of 2024, you can be part of our Leaders Retreat, or sorry, our convention contest for this year. And it's going to be so amazing. And we actually already have some contest earners and contest sweepers. So if that is you, pop it in the chat because we want to celebrate everything that's going on. So exciting. And there are over 36 people on here right now. And so I should see more than 10 comments, just saying. If you're driving, please don't type. But if you're not driving, you're able to pop your camera on so we can see all your beautiful faces and chime in on the chat. It's always encouraging to see lots and lots of wins chiming in on the chat. Okay. Okay, alrighty. Moving along, I wanted to shout out a couple of things before we take off with our main speakers tonight. I wanted to mention that we had over 150 people added on one team in the month of February. And I just wanted to shout you guys out because you're doing a fantastic job with your conversations. Ever since January and Super Saturday, we have been really working on the +1 systems, which is basically helping anyone that joins as a VIP, just having that conversation of encouraging them to do this with a buddy. It's no more complicated than that. To invite a friend, and if they're game, to follow the little PLLP system that we teach on our team to help them make a post. After they get that done, encourage them to make a little list. They can text them, text a few friends, go live and host a party. So it keeps it very, very simple. And we kicked off with our Monday and Thursday calls too, and those are going fantastically. So I hope that you guys continue to really maximize the opportunity there because you don't have to host those events. You just get to basically open your mouth and invite people to them. And it's third-party validation and basically so well done, a power-packed 15 minutes. So I just wanted to encourage you guys, if you're not registered for a convention, go do it. If you're not utilizing the Monday and Thursday calls, go do that because it makes it so simple and duplicatable for your team. I was telling the Ruby girls earlier today that someone can join Plexus today or this month sometime, and even if they don't have an upline, they can go diamond because of that system that's in place. The Monday call, that's all about the opportunity. The Thursday call, that's all about the products, and they're literally 15 minutes long. So power packed and so effective. So I wanted to shout out Missy Mitchell for helping 8 friends get started. I also wanted to shout out Eliza Smith for helping 8. Nicole Edgerly and Sarissa Young helped 5. Maylene Miller and Liz Hosick added 4. A bunch added 3. A lot of you added 2, and tons of you blessed a friend. And so I just wanted to shout you all out and encourage you to keep going. And I also wanted to mention that March is going to be huge. If this is your first March in Plexus, welcome to March, because March is always one of or the biggest month of the year. So it is definitely worth tapping in every single day this month because there is going to be some big things happen. And it's going to be bigger. It's going to be big with or without you. So I would encourage you to ride along the wave with us all because we are going to be tapping in and making some things happen this month. And I want to encourage you to remember compounding consistency because I was telling the girls earlier today, your success is basically like this. You're going along and the success curve isn't, there's not an uptick yet, okay? But you have to go along taking action with urgency, with excitement, with enthusiasm, regardless of the results that you're getting. And this is where the magic happens in network marketing, because you do a lot of things consistently for a while, for a time. We don't, different people's timelines are different, right? But consistency and compounding consistency is going to eventually, if you are doing those actions with the right mindset and the belief and vision moving forward, you're going to see that success curve go up. There's actually a science to it, and I learned about it in the book Atomic Habits, and it's called the latent success potential. And it is a thing. So I want to encourage you guys to be super duper consistent. That's the thing that kills people in this business, is just that they're not consistent. But I know you guys can decide this month to stay consistent, because it basically starts with a decision. You can decide this month that you are going to make some things happen. I'd actually like you to chime in the chat what you're going to earn this month. Are you going to do the iWatch, the iPad, or the red light therapy mask? Curious? Type in the chat. I'd like to see what you guys are all excited about. Okay, a couple more shout outs. So I wanted to shout out Sherry Anderson, Lance Durgan, Rhonda Kirkham, and Eliza Smith for going silver. And they were led by ambassadors Lisa Goodwin, Rebecca Hargraves, Lisa Goodwin again, and Hannah Scholl. And then also our senior silvers, Misty Hall, led by Becky Weaver, Nicole Edgerly, led by Lisa Winters, and then Lisa Hossick, led by Lisa Goodwin. So congratulations, you guys. I know we're going to blow it out of the water with rank ups this month. And so I'd actually like you to pop in the chat what your goal is. It can be a little goal, it can be a big goal, it can be a big, crazy, scary goal that you're actually afraid to type in the chat. But that's what we do here. We are vulnerable. We share our goals with each other, because if you can't see yourself there now, it's going to be really hard to hit that goal. And so you need to be able to speak out that goal, to set that goal, and then work towards making it happen all month long. And you may be taking a lot of action the first week, the second week, the third week, and you may not have evidence that you're going to hit your goal. But my challenge to you is, can you stay faithful even if you don't see evidence that you're going to hit your goal? And that is, if you can crack that code in your business, in network marketing, you have to take a lot of action, sometimes without a whole lot of evidence or a whole lot of, results, before you actually see things happen. And that is what is so fun and what is so exciting about this business, is that when the momentum happens, it hits. And so we typically don't see, like, on average, like a 5% increase every month, right? It's usually these, small waves, right? And then compounding consistency catches up, and then we have a huge burst of momentum. And I was listening to a call by Christina Williams earlier today, and she was just reminding us that you're going to actually spend more time building momentum than riding momentum. Okay, and she said, with the right actions and the right people, and a lot of that time when you're building towards momentum is because you're looking for people that are going to do it with you. Okay, so I want to encourage you to have your faith really big this month. I'm not talking about like godly faith. I mean, that's important too, and I encourage that. But the faith to just see what other people see. Can you see at the end of March 31st? What are your points going to be? What is your rank going to be? What feelings are you going to have in your business? Who's going to be doing this with you by then, right? You have to be able, even if you don't know all the ins and outs of how it's going to happen, I want to encourage you to really practice that muscle of seeing that vision, that goal fulfilled before you even hit it. Because I guarantee you, those who have rank up goals in mind, or a point goal or a re-rank goal in mind this month, they're going to visualize that long before they cross that finish line, right? It's kind of like running a race. That runner has run that course in their brain how many times before they actually won the race, before they finished the race, right? Also, another shout out, you guys. So before January of 2025, we had a probably like 3 to 5% brand ambassador upgrade rate. And I am very, very proud to say, very excited to announce to you guys that you have been killing it. You have been hitting the 12% mark. So we have over doubled our percentage of brand ambassador upgrades in January and February. And I know that March is going to be even bigger. So my thought is, why can't we double or triple that? So instead of 12%, why don't we work on 25% or even more? So I just want to encourage you guys, all of you guys, to keep having the conversations and don't get discouraged if you feel like people are telling you no or not yet. They want to have a product experience first. I have so many people, so many sweet product users that were product users first, sometimes for a little bit and sometimes for a long time, like as in years, that are now gems and jewels on our team. So all that to say, Brandy, I'm actually in a gallery with you. And Brandy was going to introduce Lisa before she starts to share. Brandy, you can unmute if you're in here. There, I see
Hello.
you.
Yeah, I'm on here. Hi. Okay, you guys, I am so excited about this. Can you hear me? I'm using I've never done this. Look at this. Plexus gave me this. It's my new AirPods. I feel so fancy. Anyway, okay, so I'm so excited about this. So Lisa Goodwin is going to talk to you guys. And the reason that I've been like trying to figure out a time when Megan could put her on a Tuesday night call because I'm like, this girl, she coaches me. Like, I'm her coach, by the way. I am her coach, but she coaches me almost every single day because of the way that she leads, the way that she loves. She is building a team that is not only levels wide, but very much levels deep by using that +1 system. She adds so much value to her team, my everyday life. And I want so badly for all of you to hear from her. So, say what her goal is this month, but I'll let her do that herself. She's got some really big goals this month, and I just want her to share a couple of things. So, Lisa, good one. My newest Ruby, going senior Ruby, going beyond this month. It's all yours.
Okay, all right. And you know what? My AirPods were dead. I was so sad. They're dead. I've used them too much. So Megan asked me to talk about the +1. And so when I said, and I'm going to read from my notes because if I didn't write notes down, you're going to get me rambling on other things. And so I didn't want to do that. Um, Yes, the goal is to double rank this month from Senior Ruby to Emerald. And we've mapped that out. And here's my thoughts, shoot for the moon. And if you land among the stars, that's where we are. And I'm going to do all the work to just make that happen because that's how my mindset is. So I'm really going to share with you how my brain works, I guess. I've been in another business for a very long time. And I'm not a stranger to leadership, but it took, I guess I've had people ask me this. And so I didn't learn it all just super easy. This stuff didn't come easy. It came with like a lot of trial and error and a lot of like getting over myself really. I was very young and I've grown up now in basically network marketing. And so I thought it was really funny when the first thing I wrote down on my notes, and you're going to laugh if you were on, like, we listened to a video and then we were in a Ruby chat this afternoon. And the very first thing was said there, I was like, oh, that's funny. It's all between your ears. It's like literally what is between your ears. It rules the world. It really does. And so I want to talk about, I'm going to talk into +1, but I want to talk about how you think about your customers, your team members, all of those things, because obviously they're all really customers before they become that vital part of the team and what's happening, because not everybody is some of them are just going to stay customers, but it doesn't matter how you look at them, all the same. So it's here's what you have to realize. And that was hard for me as a young little whippersnapper years ago, trying to is to get dollar signs out of your eyes, no matter how much you might need that for your family or whatever it is. But they don't owe you anything. And this is always in the back of my brain. None of them owe you anything. And so if you work from that attitude, you will work better for yourself. Like, you should be your very best customer. You should be your very best team member. Like, you can't lead where you're not willing to go. And that is very, very true. And so I you really have to remember that, and you have to stop acting like they owe you something, because they know that you have that mental attitude, if that's your attitude. Like, you know what I'm talking about. Like, if you haven't experienced that from anyone, I hope you never have to experience it on your level. But if you're making someone feel that way, that's maybe why you're not growing deep and wide, or you're not hitting the goals you want, because they sense that. Start telling yourself, and I have to say this, the culture of Plexus, oh my gosh, y'all have no idea. Like, you have an idea, but unless you've been in some other network marketing, you have no idea how amazing this is. And I have, like, come into my own, where I look at every bit of this as a privilege. It is a privilege to help people, and it's such a different way than I was ever used to. And so if you can get a mindset that it is a privilege to do it, it will change everything for you. Um, I look at it as a privilege to get to lead my leaders. I look at it as a privilege to help someone. Um, I know this is what Brandy wants me to say right now. I said this: if they're gonna invest the money, um, and their trust in you, if they're going to put their money in for Plexus and they're going to put their trust in me, then it's really important that they have the very best experience they can. Like, early on, this was so different than what I was used to, but it's their health. This isn't an object or something that it's their health. It matters so much. And I feel like, because when I came to, well, Brandy came to me, but I had already been going towards her for a long time and she just didn't know it. Um, I was desperate. And I am sure there's many of you on here like that, or you have people that are your customers. You get to that point, you're like, I have nothing to lose. I've tried everything. And if this is my life, I have to share this. So I literally, this like stuck with me as I was putting these notes down. I kept thinking about this. I literally yesterday, I think it was yesterday, yeah, or the day before, I don't remember, signed up a lady. I was working with her for 2 or 3 days. And her last message to me, I was actually I was messaging Megan. I messaged Brandy, and Brandy said, message Megan, because there was a few things that I just wasn't sure about. Her conditions were a lot. And she said, I wish I could just die and get it over with. That's what she said to me. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And that's why it's like, it's just should be a privilege. So, and you just pray that this works for her. I can't wait to see that story unfold. But that's how people are when they come to us. So I think it's really important that they sense that we're all in for them, all in. This is just something that came to mind, because as a young little firecracker years and years ago, and those dollar signs can get in your eyes because the wrong people are, plugging in to you or putting in your ears. When you make it like a one-man show, when you literally make it a one-man show, it's you're really not sharing what's available to them. Like, when you're not talking about the business part, even if it's just very gently. Like, I love to say, this is what I say when, like, I talk to them about, I've got their account going, and I'm like, okay, so here's your referral link. You're going to see that. And if they're looking at it, trying to fill it out themselves, they call, like, what is the link? They're trying to put your name in there. They don't understand. I'm like, that's your link. And it's available when you're ready to share, then it's available to you to use. And so they automatically, that's a small seed. If I've not spoke to them about the business because they strictly came to me saying, I just want the product, I don't want to sell anything, don't make me, that's what they do. So I just gently throw that in for every single person. Like that's how it is, just how I describe the subscription. I just kind of like, there's a subscription. We can change that. We can edit the date if you want to move it forward, if you want to add things to it. That's how I do it. It's just a matter of factly, that's out of my mouth. So when you don't tell them, then it really becomes all about you. But it really needs to be all about them. So it's really much more fun to like help other people figure this out and like let them know that they can share. This is the thing I love about it, and you have to fall in love with this too, that we are like great problem solvers, and I love to problem solve, not because I want to be right, just because I'm like a dog with a bone with everything. I'm like, I want to know why. I want to know what, why, what, when, where, all those things. And so I love being a problem solver with this. And it's, if you look at it that way, because your first response sometimes is when they have issues with product, um, you want to shut down. You just kind of shut you down sometimes. Like it's like, oh my gosh, I can't do this because this is hard. That's the hard stuff. It's not the most fun stuff. But I find joy in finding that for people and literally helping them. And if I don't have the answer, I find somebody that can. That is amazing thing that there's so many people, because of their experience, we can rely upon that. I think that people, that builds trust into them. So, and I'm looking this from a customer standpoint, as their problems are starting to be solved and they want to share. So we're looking at that plus one. We're thinking about that. They're remembering their experience. And so I just think that that makes such a big difference. I'm looking over my notes. I don't want to miss anything. Do you really believe the products will work? That's another thing that, like, I really believe the products will work. I just believe sometimes we have to tweak something out. And I didn't know that at first. And then I learned it wasn't just all black and white. And I've had some really hard situations. In fact, to the point that I'm like, and no offense to anyone over 60 or 70, but my first couple of really hard ones, they were quite a bit older. And I was like, I was scared to death to even talk to anyone that age after I didn't know how to problem solve them. But then because I turned, I went upward, always go upward and ask the people that know more than you. Um, and I learned, and that's the best thing. And so because I was able to do that, I feel like I'm able to now help that with everyone else on the team, and they learn how to do it. So now they're able to help their customers as well. They're figuring those things out. Um, let's see. I think being valued and validated makes them also want to share as well. I think it's really important. And there are a lot of people that come probably to Plexus that have never felt valued or validated, whether they're a consumer or they are actually working this as a business and they've worked in any capacity anywhere. I think that a lot of times we don't feel valued and validated. And I think that's really important. And part of that is listening and letting them talk and then listening. Listening is huge. Because if you aren't listening and you're going to jump the gun, you can miss something important. And again, we're dealing with their health. And I think they realize that too. Here's the thing too, is when I say, they don't owe you anything, but if you've done everything you can to help them, they know that. And I feel like they're not going to be negative toward you, because, that leaves the door open for a different season in their life and a different time in their life. And it may be a month from now, it may be 6 months from now. And I think, again, it goes back to, I'll say, love them where they're at, be okay with that. Don't cop the attitude. Like, it's hard inside. You're like, oh my goodness, I just needed one more person or that one more order or whatever. And I'm trying to hit the goal. And that's really easy to do, but it's not about you. It's all about them. And they're going to remember that. So I'm going to go into this plus one because it's all of those things that build up to that, the whole general attitude on all of that. We make it really fun in our group. So I focus on all the wins. all the wins. So we start with the reset is one of the biggest wins there are, right? Like it's this 3-day immediate win. So I have 2 or 3 different groups. I have a group of people that are sharing. I didn't have that at first, but we started the initial messenger group, and it's not near as detailed as Megan's or Jessica's. It's not near as detailed as that. It's just a lot of like little blurbs. And then it's all about every week, twice a week. I'll be like, who started the reset, who finished the reset, and then that sense of community is like getting built for them a little bit because they will interact with each other on the reset. Like, yeah, I just did it. I lost 7 pounds. And then everybody's like, oh my gosh. And the emojis are flying and all of those sorts of things are happening. And so then from that group, like once in a blue moon, I'll pop in and I'll be like, hey, is there anyone here that's just really loving all their wins and they want to share with their friends? I've got another group you can pop into, or I'll privately message someone and say, hey, are you okay if I add you to this group because you have your +1 now? Um, and maybe they didn't mean to get their +1 and they just got their +1, whatever it is. And then I bounce them over there. And then we start getting +1, +2, +3. Those things are happening. And so I think that team spirit and that I love more than anything that the spirit of when someone comes in and says in the other group, like if they're doing the reset, okay, so the soup, I don't like it. What do I do? And it's little things like that. You don't know what I'm talking about. And then they're like, oh, well, try this or try that. And, like they just start adding in and then the conversation spills out. And I love that. And it happens with other things too. But we really focus on wins in there because I believe the wins lead into a +1. When they start having those wins, I'm like, oh my gosh, do you want to post? Like, if I write a post for you, you want to post? Like, can you do that? And that verbiage, but it becomes a lot easier when you know what their wins are and everybody's seeing their wins. So it's almost like this natural progression, like, oh, well, you need to post. That's great. Who do you know that might need a win like that? Who do you know? Like, and I don't make any bones about it. I'll be like, I immediately had my very best friend. Like I was not going to share. I was not going to run a business. I had 2 other businesses. I did not need this. That's what I said. And I'm like, I just need to feel better so I can do all the things in my other businesses. That's really where I was, and be a better mom, a better Gigi, all of those things. And so as soon as I started, not long in starting, I knew exactly who the first person was I needed to talk to. And she's almost a senior silver. Yeah. She's amazing. Her story is phenomenal. And I'll tell you this, that's again, a little piece of that. I don't even know if she's on here tonight, but, 2 weeks ago, I said to her right before I left for the cruise, this is one of those things that happens. So somebody that is on this call tonight, she had somebody that had some big issues and it was a post-COVID issue. And I said, we really, we're listening to everything she's telling us. And finally I said, can I connect you with somebody? Can I connect you with somebody? So it's 2 different sponsors with someone's wanting to come in, but not sure. And I'm like, I'm going to connect you with my friend. She was the first person I thought of when I started Plexus, but your story is the same. It was post-COVID. And she's one of my best friends. So I lived it with her basically from a distance. I lived it. So she would be like, yeah, I'm going to this doctor. I'm going to this doctor. This is like 1.5 years, 2 years long, like maybe 3 years. I don't even know, just the period of time. And her struggles were real. It was really tough. But when I saw it typed out, because I put them in a 3-way message, and I saw Stacy's like whole thing in writing, I was like, oh my goodness, there were things I didn't know that she hadn't shared with me. And her results have been amazing. Like I'm not going to go into all that, but it was amazing. And if you've been on my page, if you're a friend of mine on Facebook, you'll see I posted it right before he left for the cruise. I said to her, I messaged her immediately. I said, hey, I think it's time you tell your story. Oh no, actually this is what I said. I sent her a message and I said, hey, I got this crazy idea. Megan suggested it. I said, I've got this crazy idea. You want to hear it? And she goes, yeah, I'll call you in a few minutes. I don't know what she thought I was going to say to her because she is one of my best friends. But she called and she goes, are you serious? And I'm like, yeah, can I tweak it out so it's not in a text form into a post and you post it? And she blew up at the end of the month while we were in the Bahamas. She was like doing her thing like that, just full transparency. It was amazing. But to watch that text message go back and forth between them, and the other girl did decide to do this business and she's coming along really great, and they're in this message and they're communicating, and it's great because that's just team spirit, but at the same time just pure love for humankind. Just to like share, and they were able to connect on a level that we couldn't connect with her on. So those are the things that happen, and I love that. And that, again, I think it all trickles into the plus one because it's deep and wide. It just keeps coming. Let me see, I'm almost done, I think. I really coach with the posting. Here's the thing: if they do their first post, engage in it, but watch it, because they're not used to that. If they're not used to doing anything much on social media, like, I check it out and I will message them and be like, hey, you just had somebody message, like, you need to do something about that. Like, what do you want to do? Or I literally will type in the comment. I'll be like, I did that for Stacey too. And she's like, she called me, she's like, oh my gosh, what are we going to do with her? Because I know too much about like this situation. And I'm like, I don't know, we'll figure it out. But I said, I think we can help her, can't we? And, I just encourage that along, and it speeds up the algorithm there on that post happening, but it encourages them to figure out and they can see what's happening. So, that's been a really big thing. Um, Recognizing how scary it is to post for them, and they don't believe it was scary for me, but it was super super scary for me. I wasn't really, I feel like I'm illegal when I post, like I wasn't allowed to do that with my other business. And so that was really hard for me, and I have to share that constantly when they're like, I don't think I can, and I'm like, trust me, sometimes it takes all I have to just push post. I just have to like feel a fear and do it. Like, I just push it and go, because it's still out of my nature. I'm getting better at it, but it's hard. And so I think when they hear me say that, because they think, oh, I'm a pro at this or something. No, I'm not. And I'm real with them. I'm totally real with them. And that, I think that helps that. Especially the first one, that first plus one, it's like a mountain, and then we all know what's going to happen after that. And so I feel like them knowing my fear is real, like, helps them. um I think I'm just going to say, I mean, I'm going to finish up, but I think belief is a lot that we can instill in other people. um they need to see us doing it. Again, you can't lead where you're not willing to go, and they see what I'm doing. Like, I think it's important that they see what I'm doing. And I think that you have to find joy in helping them break their belief barrier too. Again, it's like you're trying to meet your own goals, and we get really consumed with that, but we can't hit ours if they don't hit theirs. I mean, you can be the one man show, but it's way more fun with all the people with you. Like, it's way more fun. And I take such joy in seeing that. And if it's not in your nature to feel that way, you got to figure out how to do that. Like, it's kind of the unconditional love you have for your kids. It's kind of the same way when you bring in your plus ones and your twos and your threes, whatever, you just have to feel so excited for them and want it more than you want it for yourself always, because you want them to feel that way. I think that we can easily forget that in this world, it's very rare that people have. And if you've had that your whole life, I realize the older I get how rare I did have it. Brandy and I were just talking about that. My dad believed in me. He was an entrepreneur and he believed in me bigger than life. And my mom brought a lot of positivity, if that makes sense. But it is rare that you meet people that have had that their whole life. They've never really had someone believe in them. And so I think that that's really important. They need to know that you believe in them and you cheer them on always, unconditionally. And you love them the same, even if their month wasn't great. You know what I mean? You can turn the negative into the positive, and we're gonna move on. And like, just like I was saying earlier, I'm just messaging, and I'm like, hey, what's your pick? What incentive are you gonna pick? Like, what gift are you gonna pick? Because I immediately was like, I'm getting two gifts. Like, I know. And I'm like, and everyone in my house, goodness, like this is a fight. And I'm like, no, just do it yourself. Like you can do it. I mean, you got six people, let's do this thing. It was around the table. We're talking about this. Um, just be in love with this company. Oh my gosh. Because I'm telling you, it's amazing. And it's not just because I earned the trip and I was on the trip. I've been feeling this for a long time. I just been pretty quiet about sharing it. I've kind of had to sit back and be like, is this real? Is this really real? And if you don't know what the Prayer Jabez is, I have an altered version of Prayer Jabez, and you can message me and I'll send it to you. Because it's really changed, and I say it several times a day because now I've memorized. And absolutely, when I think there's not any one more person that has an unhealthy gut, and then there they are. Like, if you don't know what the Prayer of Jabez is, like, go read it, like, figure it out, and then ask for my altered version, because like it's blessing us so much. Oh my gosh. And again, love them where they're at and take this all as a privilege. I guess that's all I have to say.
Lisa, I love that. Oh my goodness. You guys, I hope you were taking notes. I tried to chime in the chat, and Carissa was chiming in as fast as we could type. She had some really, really amazing one-liners. And Lisa, I'm so proud of you, and I believe you're gonna blow it out of the water this month, because you guys can feel it. You guys can feel it. Like her love, her energy, her enthusiasm, her perspective. Like, it's a little different. I'm going to move this to speaker gallery view because it's weird to talk to one random person. Like, that shines through everything. Like, if you don't believe, like, you can feel it. She has the conviction. She has the courage of her conviction, and that's why she's gonna get what she set out to get, right? And so, anyways, Lisa, thank you for sharing. That was so good. So good. I'm going to turn it over to Jordan, my sweet friend Jordan. We've been riding together for, man, a long time. And I'm super excited for you guys to hear from her. Maybe you don't know her, but she's a phenomenal, very successful diamond and plexus. Duplication is a strength. So we're going to kind of ride off the coattails of what Lisa was sharing as a brand new Ruby ambassador. And we're going to go and hear from Jordan.
Yeah, Lisa, I wanted to share this because I loved everything you said, and I definitely plan on, hopefully are y'all recording this? Yes, so I can share that with my team. But I I want y'all to know something, and this is not something I had planned, but I remember when I saw diamonds and I thought there was like a square box for a diamond. Like, oh my gosh, I just hit my computer so hard it almost crashed. Okay. I thought there was like this like box for a diamond. I thought they all wore pencil dresses and big earrings, and I thought they were all blonde. And I genuinely had this like idea of what I thought a diamond looked like, that how they taught. Like, I will never forget hearing Tamara Holloway when I started train, and I was like, I gotta really step up my game because I don't train like that. That does not. And then Christina Williams and I ran together for forever, and she used all these pretty slides. I was like, crap, I gotta learn to do slides now. So anyway, y'all, I share that because success in this business has nothing to do with a pencil dress. And it has nothing to do with the big earrings or the blonde hair, right? What success looks like in this business, and I say this because I just saw it in Lisa. Success looks like, and I just wrote a few things down, having gratitude in your business. If you can find gratitude every day and get hungry to find it, you're going to find success here. You're going to be happier, and you're going to want to do more things in your business if you can search and dig for gratitude, and you can be grateful for the hard and the good and recognize it and move forward. That is what successful people do. Just because we are diamond doesn't mean we have this like imaginary like barrier to hard things or people quitting or all the things that happen. It happens to us too. We just move on because we can be grateful for the lesson and we keep going. The other thing that is the optimism. through all of this. She has a level of optimism, and you can feel it and hear it in the way she talks, and the way she talks about her team, and about the way where she's going. You guys, if you can just get optimistic about what's possible, and I don't care what your childhood looked like. I'm not that I don't care, but I don't care. I don't care what happened in the last 12 months of your business. I don't care. Because if you can start dreaming today and get optimistic today, everything can change with one person in your business. Your next ad could be your first diamond. So stop complaining about what happened back here and move on here. And that is something that she was preaching and doing, even if she doesn't know she was doing it. The other thing was being a problem solver. Leaders and successful people are paid problem solvers. And she talked about that. And I was like, yes, yes, preach, yes. Like, we have to solve problems here. Don't wait for your upline to do it. Don't wait for your downline to do it. Don't wait for your husband to do it for you. Go figure it out. You have a beautiful God-given brain, and we have the internet at our fingertips. Everything you need to know inside this business is on a team page or on YouTube. Go figure it out. Not only am I telling you that out of love, but I know when you go figure it out on your own without asking your upline the steps, you're going to retain it more, and you're going to feel more excited to go teach it. So there's that. And then the last one was just like doing scary things, which I know Megan is going to talk about to my team a little bit. But you guys, I have a mountain of failure, like a mountain. I have done a sip and see, and no one showed up. I have had over 14 level 1 golds quit. You have created drama in your head that says you are the only one that is having the hard thing or the scary thing, and you are not. And I love you enough to tell you that, because you do not have to be scared of it. You can feel the feel fear, do it anyway. Feel fear, do it anyway. If it's the live video, go do it. If it's saying I'm going to actually just go ahead and just commit to adding 6 and getting 2 silvers. If you ask yourself, how can I go add 6 and go get 2 new brand new silvers? Your brain is going to start helping you do the thing, because you just decided that you wanted to do it, and you asked your brain to help you figure it out. So anyway, I wasn't planning on doing any of that. I don't want to like waste y'all's time, but I was like, man, the recipe for success, that's right there. And she was talking about a lot of it. And so anyway, there's that. I have a question. I want y'all to drop in the chat the most amount of ads you have personally ever had in 1 month. The most level 1s you have ever added in 1 month. I want you to put it in the chat. Okay, cool. So if any of y'all sit here and tell me, I can't add 6, 6 feels like a lot. Okay, cool. Well, you just chose the feeling of this feels like a lot. You chose to feel like you can't do this, because that's the proof in the pudding. The proof in the pudding is you've already done it. So now you just get to go do it again. Y'all, this is not, and that's also why I love this +1 system. That's also why I love our comp plan, because if you can help someone go silver, and then help another person go silver, and then another person go silver, you can go diamond. I went diamond with no jewels on my team. You guys, duplication is so powerful. And before I give y'all some duplication tips, I just wanted to pass on my belief to y'all really fast, if that's okay if I do this. My belief is so big for this company and what it can do for your families. And let me tell you why. Because I will never forget when my husband was in a very, very, very deep depression, when I was a gold ambassador and I had just quit my very full-time job that had like all of our like insurance and everything. I had just quit as a gold, and I said, I'm going to do this full time. My husband went into a deep depression, and I will never forget just being like, you know what? I have a comp plan that I can go make things happen in, and we need money right now. And I went ruby and senior ruby, senior gold, ruby, and senior ruby in the next 6 months, because we needed it. You guys, our comp plan is insane. You have more control over how much money you're making than you give yourself credit, if you can just go put in the work and get your mind right. I also remember, you guys, when our sweet little Parker was born. She was born with amniotic bands. We had no idea what that was when she was born, but she is missing some of her fingers and some of her toes. And we were like, what in the actual? But you guys, because of Plexus, we do not have to make any sort of arrangements. We don't have to make any concessions. We can go get our sweet little baby girl all the little prosthetics that she needs. We can go, we've already had one surgery. We're going to have another very, very soon. And these are not covered by insurance because they're considered plastic surgery. You guys, I am obsessed with this business. It has completely changed our family, the way we can breathe, the way we can dream, the way we can vacation, the way we can give. And I love the fact, and I will say this till the day I die, every single person can do this. There is not one person on this call that cannot do what we have done. But it will take work. But the work is good work, and it is worth every single minute that you put into your business. I will also never forget another moment that just solidified the fact that this company and this business is worth the work. My dad had just had a stroke, and he had a really, really, really hard time in inpatient therapy. And he hadn't seen all of his kids, there's 5 of us, in a long time. And he was just, you ever just know when somebody needs a vacation? Like, I knew my dad needed a vacation, and there was no way I was going to be able to afford my mom and my dad and my 5 siblings and all their spouses and our kid. Like, I was like, oh my gosh, this is why I need a house that has like 12 bedrooms. But you guys, during that time, Plexus announced a contest, and it was like top earners got a $5,000 travel voucher. And I was like, bet, I'm in. Tell me what I got to do. I'm taking my dad on a vacation. And we did. So you guys, I want y'all to know that the dreams you have, it does require work, but it is worth the work. When you go hiking, anybody here a hiker? We go hiking a lot. When you go hiking and you get to the very, Brooke is, see, she knows. When you get to the very top, you don't sit there and start like saying cuss words because it was the worst hike ever and you got mud on your feet and you've got ant bites and you fell a couple of times and you've got some scratch. No, 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 no. You get to the top of the mountain and you admire the scenery. You thank God for getting you to the top of the mountain and you enjoy the fruits of your labor. And that is what this is. When you get to where you want to go, when you reach that goal, when you hit that travel voucher and you get to go on that trip, you're not sitting here thinking, oh, that sucked. No, you get there and you just enjoy the fruits of your labor. And there's so many fruits to be had here. So anyway, I wanted to share that with y'all. I have 2 examples of how I am helping people go silver this month. Can I share those with y'all? Can I read those to y'all? I have 3 girls I'm actively helping to go silver right now. I believe silver is the key to joy in this business. I believe there's not a single person on here. If I looked at every single one of you and said, hey, how would you feel at the end of the month if you helped somebody go silver? None of you would put in the chat depressed. I guarantee it. Silver brings energy. It brings life. It is so much fun to go add people on your level 2s. Like it just is. It is. Just trust me if you do not believe me, I promise. So I'm going to read y'all 2 messages that I have sent to current customers. I can send these screenshots to Megan or Krista after this, but one of them I just said, hey, did you see that we're giving away Apple Watches and iPads this month for referring 6 people? Do you want details? I know you can totally do that. She said, yeah, I love details. You guys, that's not weird. It's not salesy. If I was a customer, I would want an iPad. Like, don't keep the gift and don't keep the blessings from people. So there's that. And then the other message, I sent a cute little graphic with like all 3 things that they can pick from. And I said, hey, I know you don't want a business, but you want one of these? We're giving hundreds of these away in March. And she said, yes, well, what do I need to do? And I said, you need to help 6 people. She said, how do I do that? And I said, I'm going to call you. Y'all, simple. Okay. So if you are not, I want y'all to go add your 3 and get a silver or add 6. Okay. You need to go lead by example in that way because we just determined that every single one of you can do that. But I want you to ask yourself, how many people on my team can I help go earn this too? And not just your current people that are sharing. Maybe you don't have any, and that's awesome. This is a great way to help move people into the sharing category. Oh my gosh, they just made a post and signed their first and realized they didn't die. Maybe they want to go diamond now. You don't know until you try. So anyway, Megan, that's what I have. And if y'all have any more questions or whatever, I'm happy to answer them. But that's what I've got. And I'll send y'all those screenshots too.
So good, so good. Oh my goodness, you guys, this was fantastic. Thank you guys for sharing. Jordan, she is the queen of developing silvers, and you heard how simple it is. I think that's the thing is we don't have to overcomplicate it. It can be, and just like Lisa was sharing, her little message to the girl was, "Hey, I have a crazy idea." And if I could encourage you guys to do anything, it would be to like shorten your messages. I think sometimes people get overwhelmed because you sent like a 2 mile long reach out and they got a little overwhelmed. But and they're like, I'm gonna have to like message her later, and then they forget. Okay, shorten it up. Go back to all those people you messaged last month or 6 months ago that you sent a book to, and just say, "Hey, I have a crazy idea." I mean, that could be the opening line to a lot of things. It could be like, "Hey, I think you should. I think it's time to start Plexus. What do you think?" I mean, depending on who it is that you ask, but the simplicity of keeping this business so incredibly simple. Let me glance over this one more time just to make sure I didn't forget anything. Okay, do you guys all have your goals written down, invisible? I'm going to give you guys the same homework I gave to the Rubies, which is you need to get your goals on paper. You got to get it out of the abstract and onto paper. I feel like, well, we talk about this every single month. Get your goals down. And then I want you to share them in the chat. Whatever chat you're in that you have accountability in, get them in a chat. All right, share them with a friend. Talk about them. Talk about them. Also, all month long, you're talking about them. I also want you to, okay, the other thing is, I want you to type a 1 in the chat if you're willing to commit. You're willing to decide to helping 6 people this month. All right, and while we're at it, let's throw a silver in there too. 6 and a silver. All right, and what I want you to do is, I think I moved my cards, but I love sticky notes, okay? You're gonna get 6 sticky notes plus another sticky note, maybe a different color to represent your silver, okay? Your 6 and then your 1 for silver. And I want to challenge you to pray over them and ask God to supernaturally direct you to those people. And also the opposite, which is that they would be supernaturally directed to you. Now, on one side of the coin is God's sovereignty. The other side of the coin is man's responsibility. So that means we're not going to just pray and do nothing. We're going to pray plus take massive action. Okay, that is so important. Also, if you were on the Leaders Retreat cruise, I challenged you all. Let me grab my phone. I challenged you all to write your dream teamers down. Okay, you guys all have dream teamers in a note in your phone or on a piece of paper. All right, you're holding me accountable. I did it. And if you have not messaged at least 5 people, 5 dream teamers about the opportunity, well, hopefully you had people on last night's call. But if life got busy and you were on the cruise and then didn't do my challenge, go do it. If you're hearing about this for the first time, I want to challenge you to do it tonight. Before your head hits the pillow, type in the chat if you're willing to say, yeah, I'll do it. I promise you won't die. Brandy introduced Lisa earlier, and the reason I reached out to Brandy was because Jessica Heffley threw out a little challenge like, hey, go message 3 people. I didn't even message her about the business. I was just like, hey, I'm not sure how we met. We are apparently Facebook friends, but these supplements have blessed my family. It's helped us with blah, blah, blah. Curious if you'd be open to trying them. She said, yeah. She said, yeah, after the first time. So you just never know your next reach out that you do, and maybe it's on a whim, like me giving you this challenge to go reach out to some dream teamers, that they are your next diamond, or they are your next gold, or that they are going to go silver this month. You just never know. But if you're praying and asking God to direct your business, to bless your business, He's going to do that. He's going to show up. But you got to show up too and take the action. All right. And then lastly, I want you to go back into the messages that you, the posts that you've done since before Leaders Retreat. So like in the last week and a half, okay? And I want you to go make a hot 20 list. My very favorite tool in this business is a plain white sheet of paper. Plain white sheet of paper. And you're just gonna get all those names down on your sheet of paper. And you're also gonna go to your stories and you're gonna swipe up. And you're going to look and see all of those people who are not on your team yet, and you're going to message them about Plexus, okay? And I want to encourage you to have at least 25 conversations this week about Plexus with new people. If you're not talking about Plexus in those conversations, then they don't count as new conversations. They don't count as Plexus reach out conversations. Those may be counting as like relationship building or connective conversations, but it's all about taking the action this month, today, because it's the 4th already. And the month is great, it's going to be great, but you can't wait until the last of the month to try to make things happen. Remember the compounding consistency concept. What you do now is going to impact what happens at the end of the month, and the energy and the intensity and the excitement is going to bear fruit. It's going to contribute to what happens at the end of the month. And you have to move forward without loss of enthusiasm, all right? So promise me that you guys will stay encouraged, that you will take action, that you will set your goals, that you'll share them with a friend, that you'll write out your dream team list, you'll message your 5 people tonight, and you'll get your Hot 20 list, because you're going to help those 6. Those little blank, empty sticky notes are going to have names on them at the end of the month, and your faith will be sight. What you are foreseeing, that's taking faith to believe that you are going to help those people, you're going to find out who those people are that you get to help. And that's if that doesn't light your fire, your wood's wet. I'm using one of my dad's quotes there. But I just want to encourage you, it's going to be a big month. I want all of you guys, all 70 of you guys, to be engaged this month, plus all the people that are going to listen to the replay. So thank you guys for popping on. It's going to be a momentous March, and I cannot wait to see what you guys do this month. So congratulations to everyone who had wins last month. Lisa and Jordan, thank you guys for popping on and sharing. It was fantastic. All right, talk to y'all soon.